I'm back. I have to apologize to anyone who signed on exactly at 5 o'clock. I had this problem with Facebook once before where I was not able to share my screen, and I don't know if it's a technological problem on my end or if it's just something that I just can't do from my computer. So anyways, I'm on my iPad, I'm back, and I apologize. I'm just going to start over and pretend like none of this ever happened. A little bit off my game here, but I'm going to basically just sit here and go through this presentation without sharing my screen because I'm not able to. So I will work this problem out though, I promise. I will work this problem out. So bear with me. Welcome to Advance Your Career, how to get a pay raise or raise in pay now. I'm going to give you my step-by-step process that I use to secure an increase for myself when I was working in corporate America, to include a title change, effectively promoting myself and increasing my pay $10,000 that year. So this is, to me, it's a very easy process. It really is just a matter of asking and then following through on a couple of other things that you'll have to do just to make sure that you do secure the increase. But let me start by saying my name is Morgan Gervais, and my background is in human resources training and recruiting. I spent 20 years working at the corporate level in human resources, where I was defending the company mostly. And after quite some time, I decided that I was more interested in helping people, especially women, advance their careers and get the pay that they deserve, because I had been through so much in my own career and not being promoted when I thought I should have been promoted, or received more than a cost of living increase, which, as you may or may not know, cost of living is typically 3%, and 3% increase in pay once a year just wasn't enough for me to be able to keep up with the rising cost of living. Cost of living, if you live in California, you know what I'm talking about. If you live in New York, you know what I'm talking about. If you live in any of the expensive states, you know what I'm talking about. So anyways, welcome. This is a quick and easy way that you can get the pay that you deserve and you need, and this is different from the live that I did this morning. This is actually a course that I put together, and I'm going to give you the gist of the course. So in this course, what you will learn is all that you need to do to advance your career quickly and easily so you can get to the pay that you deserve. I'll teach you how to identify and value your greatest and most relevant achievements to the promotion or the increase that you're looking for, and help you prepare your pitch, request a meeting with a decision maker, whether that be your supervisor or human resources or a group of people. Thank you, Rojane. I'm so glad that you're here. I appreciate you so much. So you can get the pay that you deserve, you know. If you've never asked for a raise or a promotion before and you're nervous, anxious, or afraid, you know, please don't worry. I'm here for you, and I will walk you through every step of the way. While this is a general overview, I promise to cover everything you need to be able to take the steps required to advance your career and ask for this promotion and increase. Additionally, I have 3 courses that are specific topics where I break things down a little bit further. I provide individual feedback in those courses, and I offer suggestions and reviews in a live setting specifically for you in your position or industry. And what allows me to be able to do that is that I've worked a lot of industries, and just, you know, not that this matters any, but I did mention that I have more than 20 years in human resources, more than 25 years in corporate America. I'm in my 50s now, so I think by now I know what I'm talking about, just a little bit. Additionally, each of these 3 courses can be found on my website, careerspresso.com. That's careerspresso without the X careerspresso.com, with various payment and financing options. I'm so excited to announce that I recently partnered with Affirm and Sezzle to be able to offer you different financing, so that you can break down the payments into something that's a little bit more manageable for you and your budget. So I'm excited about that, and there's details on my site about doing that, or you can just pay with debit or credit card, of course, and that's my little spiel. I'll provide a link in the caption for those courses if you're interested in going into further detail for yourself or sharing with someone else who who might need to set themselves apart from everyone else who's going to be looking for a job or already looking for a job, or an increase in pay or promotion at work, whatever the case may be. So I'll go into those a little bit later. So advance your career. I'm going to teach you 5 things in this quick event, this quick class, and probably going to go over past 5:30 because I started a little bit late and I talk a lot. So lesson 1 is achievements in numbers. Lesson 2 is determine your salary. And lesson 3 is define your pitch. Lesson 4 is the meeting. And lesson 5 is ask for it. So those are the 5 topics we're going to go over, and I will be brief, but give you as much detail as possible here. So lesson 1, defining your achievements. What is an achievement? Why is it important? And what is its value? So one of the things that most of my clients struggle with when revising their resume, or when I ask them about, their achievements or their goals or their job description even, what exactly is it that you do at work? Can be very different from what's already on your resume or what's on the job description. So you want to take these 3 items. You want to take the job description that you've been provided. Hopefully you've been provided one at work. You want to take the job announcement, which can be very different. Some companies are lazy and they'll just use the job description for a job announcement. But job description, job announcement, and then the third thing you want to do is you want to take your resume. And you want to put these side by side and see where there might be some similarities. You also want to make a list of things that you do on a regular basis, those that are most important to the company, and you also want to list those achievements that you've been recognized for, those things that have stood out to your employer as being above and beyond. And usually those things are identified by percentages and dollars. So you've saved the company money, you've made the company money, or you've reduced something or increased something by a percentage. Those are things that are valuable to a company, especially when it comes to the bottom line money, right? So those are the things you want to highlight above and beyond most anything else, and you want to highlight those things on your resume, job description, and the things that you actually do, and the job posting, that are similar, that are exactly the same or similar. Knowing your value and your worth are crucial to your success is lesson number 2. And then preparation is key. And preparation is key because you want to be able to deflect any opposition that you may encounter. And when I say opposition, I mean questions from your supervisor or human resources that might fall along the lines of, why should we give you this raise? Or why do you think you deserve this raise? Why do you think you deserve this increase in pay? You need to have your ducks in a row. You need to be able to say, well, not just because I work hard, or not just because I'm valuable, but because ABC. I've done ABC and it's increased the value of, it's decreased something, it's made the company money, and you want to have all the dollars and percentages outlined right there, ready to go for the conversation. So preparation is key to deflecting any opposition that you may encounter, and you most likely will encounter some opposition. Companies don't want to give out more money than they have to, but you need to be proactive and get the money that you deserve. So you want to proactively schedule a meeting with your supervisor. We're not waiting. We're not waiting for someone to recognize our value and offer us a raise or a promotion. We need now. We're going after it. We are going after it. And so this is for my baby boomers, my Gen Xers, my Gen Y women who are serious about advancing their careers. We're not going to sit back and wait for you to recognize our value. we're going to ask for it. We're coming for it. And so we want to be proactive in scheduling that meeting, but not until you have all of these other things done. What are you going to ask for? You're going to ask for what you deserve, not what you need. So you need to keep that in your mind. It's not about what you need or what you want. It's what you deserve, because you're worth it, because you do the work. And 9 times out of 10, you probably do more than they've asked you to do, and you're not being paid for that. So it's time that you get paid for all of that extra work that you've been doing. So identify your achievements. How to identify achievements. I've already gone over that, but you'll need to refer to your job description, an outline of your duties. If you've never been given a job description, you can use the announcement if it has a lot of information on it. So the advertisement, the way you found the job, and you're going to need your resume. It's uncommon for a company not to give job descriptions, because usually they want you to sign on the dotted line that you agree that you are going to do all of these things for them. But it is common in smaller companies and startup companies for them to have either a generic job description for the positions or no descriptions at all. So the first thing you need to do is read through your job description, highlight the responsibilities of the highest importance, the ones you perform on a regular basis, daily basis, especially those with timelines, deadlines, or that heavily impact other areas. And what I mean by other areas, your department, this task that you do in your department, how heavily does it affect another department? You need to determine that. So in human resources, there are a lot of tasks that heavily affect accounting and payroll. So that's just an example. You want to highlight also those tasks that only you know how to do. Use a special color for those items especially, and they will be your high buy items or your high priced items. And there are many companies or there are many items that the company needs, but this is the one that the company needs and you're the only one who can perform it. And for example, I worked for a company where I was the only person who knew how to run crystal reports. And it just so happened that for this particular company, Crystal Reports was very valuable to them, company-wide, and it was over 600 employees. So here I am in Human Resources. I'm the only one who can run Crystal Reports, or I run them better than anyone else. And the few people, there was only, I think, one other person who could run Crystal Reports in the department, but one, she didn't like to. She wasn't as good as I was at running the reports, and she didn't stay with the company for very long. I was with that company for 6 years, more than 6 years, and so I became the go-to person for Crystal Reports. That made me invaluable to that company as long as they didn't find someone else who could also run Crystal Reports, right? So those are the kinds of things you want to think about when you are preparing for this conversation to ask for a raise. What are the things that only I can do, or what are the things that I do better than anyone else I know the company finds value in? Next to each one, you're going to place, a number, 1, 2, 3, to indicate the level of importance it holds for the company, not necessarily for yourself. And 1 would be the high priced item, right? Like Crystal Reports in my example. It's a numbers game. So you want to make sure that you're always thinking in dollar values or percentages, saving money, making money, reducing or increasing something, and the relevance that particular item, that particular task has to not just the position that you hold right now, but how much value does it hold for the position that you are seeking, the promotion that's going to help you get that increase. You want to identify areas where, well, I'll get to that in a minute. Excuse me. And then you're going to take that information and you're going to go over to salary.com. And what you're going to do on salary.com is you're going to take the information that you've, highlighted from the job description and assess the value for each of those items. You're going to need to determine the new salary using that information. So on salary.com, you can determine your new median salary based on your geographic location, your education, your past performance, your experience, supervisory level, and the number of direct reports you have. So the number of people who report directly to you, even if it's just one. You're going to use all of that information to determine your median to high wage indicators and negotiate your new salary. And so I go over this in Explode Your Pay step by step, where I actually will show you on salary.com. I also have a tutorial on it that's out there on Instagram, where you can see, excuse me, after doing this, you can see the median and then the high range of the salary for your industry and your position and your number of years of experience, and hopefully, you know, stellar performance and all of that. And that'll help you gain some confidence and a basis for going in to have this discussion about salary. So, you know, and I always tell people, you don't want to go in and say, I'll just take whatever you're offering, or whatever the position is valued at, whatever you guys think is, you know, I'm worth. You always want to go in with a range. Always want to go in with a range. And instead of saying like maybe 35, I'm sorry, I should say something much higher. Let's 75. Let's go starting 75 to 85, or 85 to 95. You want to mix up the numbers just a little bit. So when you do this on salary.com, it's not going to give you a whole number. It's going to give you something like, the median salary is $158,000 and the high end is $172,000. So $172,000. So whatever the numbers salary.com gives you, those are the numbers you want to write down, memorize, and use in your conversation. You're going to click on, oh, I'm sorry. I heard something in the background and it distracted me. And once you have all of that information at your disposal and it's all organized, you want to practice your pitch. And so you want to make sure that you write it down. You want to anticipate rebuttals, anticipate the opposition's, unfavorable feedback or unfavorable, decision, and come up with some rebuttals for that. You want to come up with some responses to share and to prove that you are worth this increase in pay. Memorize those key points, and the proof is in the pudding, right? And so having all of this information in your hands when you go into this meeting is just going to make you not only more confident, but it's going to make, what is the word I'm looking for? I always do this. There's always one word that gets me every time. So it makes you more valuable, but it also makes you more credible. I think that's what it is. Credible, that you've done your research, you've done your homework. You're not just, I want more money, I think I deserve more money. You're not, this is not something that you've just come up with, just because you're bored at work and you have nothing else to do but to sit there and think that you need a higher wage, you need more money. You know you're worth it, you deserve it, and you've done your background research, you've done your homework, and you've prepared yourself for this conversation. So be prepared for the rebuttals and differences of opinion in your performance. Memorize your key points. Use your notes only to add impressive and visual evidence, right? In support of your request. You don't want to rely 100% on your visuals for the decision to be made. You really want to be able to articulate that you deserve this, and there's no way you're going to accept no for an answer. It'll be difficult to disagree with the research facts in writing, and that's why I want you to share that information. How to approach your supervisor. You want to make sure that you've prepared your documents. Like I said before, be confident of your practice pitched, and the more you practice it, the more confident you will feel, the more confident you will come across. Ask your supervisor for the meeting, and be upfront on the topic of your request. You don't want to try to hide anything or be sneaky about it, or let's just grab a coffee. I mean, you could just grab a coffee, but depending on the type of relationship you have with your supervisor, it may be better to request a formal meeting and thank your supervisor for taking time to meet with you, because it is a little unorthodox, it is a little out of the ordinary, but it is not something that you should shy away from because of that. So you can email your request. If you need ideas, I have suggestions in the formal training. I offer templates, and I can share a link to my store, in the description, just to let you know. You want to state why you're requesting the meeting in the email. There's no reason to hide it, like I said before. If you're worth your weight in gold, and I know you are, and your supervisor knows you are, your supervisor already knows that this request is coming, or should know that this request is coming, and won't be surprised. So there's no reason for them to deny the meeting, and no reason for them to not expect you to ask for the increase. Rewriting everything nice and neat will also help you to memorize the information, since some of the points you will be making are going to be new, to most of you. Most people have never asked for a raise before. So you deserve it, you are worth it, and you will get it. Just exude confidence and know that you deserve this raise. You deserve this increase. I'm sure you do. It's game time, right? So your supervisor has requested your meeting. Now what do? You want to show appreciation first and foremost. You want to go over your responsibilities, your existing responsibilities. You want to talk about how you've grown, personal growth that you've experienced while being in this position, assuming you've been in the position for a little bit of time already. You want to share your research findings regarding your potential position and new wages associated with that position. And you want to show how most of the items are already part of your work, because they probably are. You're probably already doing a lot of these things, because once we learn a job, as it was described to us in the beginning, it's inevitable that our supervisors are going to add on additional responsibilities, right? There's always that disclaimer in a job description where they reserve the right to add other duties as assigned. And they've probably already added these other duties as assigned, and they're getting them for free. So you want to share this information with them based on your findings. In your research, confidently suggest the new title. Yes, the new title and the increase in pay based on the responsibilities and the data that you've collected collectively. Okay? Does this work? Yes, it does work. I have done this for myself as I am teaching you here, and I got the title change automatically pushing me into a higher earnings bracket, thereby also increasing my pay $10,000 for that year, and subsequent increases and bonuses followed for that position because I was in the new wage bracket. So if you want to learn more about wage brackets, wage grades, you can just reach out to me and ask me, and I'll tell you how they work. So again, I want to remind you to visit salary.com to determine your new pay. Use the median to high wage indicators to negotiate your new salary. And like I said before, I go over this in how to use salary.com step by step in my Explode Your Pay course. And I will provide that link for you. Enrollment is closing soon because the class is coming up fairly soon, and I'm excited about it. I've been teaching people how to get pay increases for quite some time, but I've never actually put a lot of courses out online. As you know, this year has changed a lot of things, but Thursday, July 29th is the online workshop for Explode Your Pay, Get the Raise You Deserve, and that's where I will be going over step by step using salary.com. And if after completing your research and determining your new salary requirements, you need help creating a document worthy of the new salary, for your discussion, let me know. You can get 50% off all my courses just for attending today's course with the coupon code ADVANCE2021, even if you catch it on the replay. So you're all good. Coupon code ADVANCE2021. You can get 50% off those 3 courses until Sunday at midnight. So what is Sunday? Is Sunday 4th of July? I think it is. So until the 4th of July at midnight, with the coupon code ADVANCE2021, you can get 50% off of all my courses. So to set yourself above all other applicants, you want to learn how to ace the interview and how to negotiate salary and everything else that I teach. I have a course called Promote Me Now. Promote Me Now goes over a lot of the same things in Explode Your Pay, the salary part, of course, but then we talk about enhancing your current skills or adding to them. And I'm going to give you a little story on this one too. Are you ready to have this conversation with your supervisor? You have to prepare. You have to prepare in many ways to get a promotion. And I'm going to tell you why. Maybe you've been out of work for a while, or maybe you need to return to work, but you don't know how. or where to begin. Maybe you've been laid off, you've been demoted, or you need a career change. You're in transition, but you don't know where to start. I answer all of these questions in Promote Me Now. And you can get 50% off on that one too until Sunday with Advanced 2021 coupon code. But I want to tell you a little story real quick. One of the reasons why I created the Promote Me Now program, and I talk a lot about building up your skills and, asking people, are you prepared to go into management? Because in my experience, I have a lot of people who believe because they've been in the department for 10, 15 years and now the management position is available, that they should be the obvious choice for that position. Well, a lot of times we, as managers in human resources or just supervisors in the C-suite, executive officers, CEO, CFO, CAO, COO, we ask people, well, what have you done to prepare yourself for a management position? And if you've done absolutely nothing in the 10 or 15 years that you have been working for the company to prepare for management, why should management consider you for that position when there are other people outside of the company, maybe outside of the department, but still within the company, who have been preparing for a supervisory position, who have been preparing for management, and who have been enhancing their skills or acquiring new skills. And sure, you there's no argument that you're a good worker, you're a good employee, but what have you done to prepare for a promotion? So in my Promote Me Now, I go over all the things that you need to do to be prepared for promoting from within. Points of a pitch. What's your why? You want to talk about what's your why, what's its value. You want to talk about your goals and interests. You don't want to just talk about, you never want to talk about the need. You always want to talk about the deserve. What are your goals and interests for the department? You want to be specific. You want to list, again, your responsibilities and highlight those high-level tasks that are impactful to the department or the company. What do you like most about your work? And based on the research and overall contribution, why should we consider you for this position, for this increase or this promotion? So you want to talk about why you chose this career path. What value does this work provide to you in addition to the monetary gain? It's not just about the money, right? Share your career goals and interests, be specific, list responsibilities above and beyond the typical duties that they expect of you. Highlight those falling in line with the higher level position that you're seeking. Identify 3 to 5 tasks that you enjoy and would do regardless of pay. When you talk about something that you're excited about, it shows, and that says to the employer or to your supervisor that you really enjoy the work that you do and you're really excited to be there, and they like that. Suggest the new title under salary based on your research, not based on need. I can't say that enough because companies think employees are expendable. That's just the way they think. Human resources thinks that everyone is expendable. So as a human resources person or someone in corporate America, someone in the C-suite, someone who's a chief administrative officer, a chief operations officer, a director, a vice president, or president, they don't care so much about your need for an increase. They don't care so much about your need for a promotion. You just want to base it all on research and that you've worked hard for this. You've worked hard for this. You know the job better than anyone else, and you can do it better than anyone else. And it's a promotion and an increase that you deserve. You want to be proactive. You don't want to sit back and just wait for your supervisor to recognize something in you, because it may not ever happen. You want to be prepared to answer their questions, time frame the decision, remain positive, ask for follow-up, ask for the timing of the decision, right? Ask for, how much time do you need to make this decision? So you want to ask your supervisor after the meeting if they have any questions that you can answer. If they say they need time or the decision isn't wholly theirs, then remain positive and ask for a timely follow-up. No more than a week should be necessary, really, even if they're not the final decision maker. If the immediate answer is not positive, it's time for self-reflection to determine why. Is it you? Is it something about you? But don't be too hard on yourself, because it may not be about you at all. It could be budgeting, and a lot of times that's the case. We don't have it in the budget. And it might be true. They might be maxed out on the budget for that year. So maybe it's something that we can talk about at a later date. Suggest a mutually beneficial compromise, but don't undersell yourself. If the meeting does not seem to it will end favorably, then it may be time to look for another advancement opportunity, but I don't want you to go there just yet. We're going to try to stay positive and trust that you're going to get it. You're going to get it, right? But if you decide to stay on after a no end result, you can revisit the conversation again in 3 months. No does not mean no. No just means no right now. Like right now, it's just bad timing. Maybe right now it is bad timing. It could be very well bad timing. I would say right now with COVID, I would say right now with the pandemic, it can go either way. It's like 50-50. It's either, for some companies, probably really bad timing because they've just taken a super hard hit, or it could be really great timing because some companies have done very well during the pandemic, and you might work for one of those. So stay ready, be prepared, be ready to discuss performance, memorize those key points, and use visuals. Okay, you can't stress that enough. People are visual. You can talk to us and talk to us and talk to us, and after about 20 minutes, the adult attention span is no more than 20 minutes. That's why I really wanted to use visuals today. I wanted to share my screen because I know that people don't want to necessarily just sit and watch someone talking. They want to see something. So I'll figure that out, I promise. So your supervisor may need to consult HR before they give you an answer. Be prepared to answer more questions from HR why you deserve an increase in pay and or promotion. Be prepared for the rebuttals or the difference of opinions and performance, and use your notes only to add impressive and visual evidence in support of your research, and use charts and graphs. People like charts and graphs from your research, and Salary.com has lots of charts and graphs, so it'll be difficult to disagree with all that research and writing. Let's see, where am I? Okay. So I'm not going to talk about this. It's time to move on. We'll talk about that in another training. I think I've given you the gist of everything that you need to know to request an increase in pay. I want to remind you of a couple of things just about yourself. You know, you deserve it. You deserve it. You are worth more. You are worth so much more. You can do this. Don't be afraid. Ask for it and remain positive throughout the entire process. Remain positive throughout the entire process. That's all I can say. So we went over achievements and numbers, determining your salary, practicing your pitch, the meeting with your supervisor, asking for it. It can be scary, but it's not impossible. It's very doable. Lastly, I want to talk to you about, I mentioned in the beginning, why would you want to work with me? I have 20 years in human resources training and recruiting. I'd rather help people advance their careers than help companies turn over staff, and that's true. That's why I left human resources. I don't believe people are expendable. I don't. I believe people are invaluable resources and untapped vessels of bottomless talent waiting to be utilized. And I think that if they are appropriately paid, those bottomless vessels of talent will just bubble over. You will have the most amazing employee you have ever wanted or considered, if you would just reward them appropriately. I'm an advocate for the advancement of women in the workplace and in entrepreneurship. If you don't find the success you're looking for in your career, you can find it in building your own business. That's what I've done. And lastly, my background, my training and education is in psychology and organizational leadership, and I also have a creative background. I've had more jobs than I can count. I've been laid off, I think 3 times in my career, and promoted once, other than the numerous times I promoted myself by advancing my own career. And I shared with you how I advanced my own career and increased my salary $10,000 that 1 year. I knew I was meant to do more after my last layoff 6 years ago, when my supervisor said, She didn't know why I wasn't the VP of some company. With all the knowledge and experience I had under my belt, she just did not understand why I wasn't running a company, why I wasn't higher up. I'm sure it was meant as a compliment, but it stung, and I began to think I should be further along in my career. And why am I not the VP of some company? So it wasn't too long after that the company had failed to meet some objectives, and they were shutting down. So after that layoff, I decided that I would work for myself. That was the fastest and most lucrative way to a senior position and a six-figure salary that I deserved. And I had worked hard for it, and I will continue to work hard for it. And this is only the beginning, actually, kind of my working hard for it. So if there's anything that I can do for anyone who is reviewing this video, I would be more than happy to help you. I have a video that I put out on YouTube at the beginning of the pandemic that has over 22,000 views, and all that was a 10-minute video of me in my pajamas, no makeup, my hair wasn't even combed, and all I did was tell people how to qualify for unemployment. Legitimately qualify for unemployment during this pandemic, because it was so horrific, everything that was happening to people and that I was seeing people go through. I knew from my HR background that I could help in that way, and I did that, just put that video out on YouTube. And so it's always been my heart and desire to help people advance their careers. So if there's anything that I can do for you outside of asking for a raise, let me know. A little bit more, I'm an experienced career coach and college career advisor, human resource generalist, training development, worked as a recruiting manager, as a psychologist, resume writer for 2 major competitors. And my claim to fame was that I conducted the first webinar for the Magic Johnson Foundation's scholarship program in 2015. So I have conducted more than 500 trainings, workshops, seminars, and webinars. I've completed more than 2,000 career coaching sessions, completed more than 250 interviews and mock interviews, written over 1,000 resumes and cover letters, and I go over how to use Salary.com step-by-step in my exposure pay course. Like I said, if you're interested in that, you can sign up by Sunday, July 4th, midnight, for 50% off using Advance 2021. And that's it. I appreciate everyone joining me today, and keep an eye out for my offers. And it was good to help you out. I hope you enjoyed this. See you next time. Bye.